Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of For FSU Weather. Today's date is September 26th. I'm student meteorologist Nikki Preeny.
And I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields. And Nikki, finally, we're going to be seeing some gorgeous fall-like weather. You know, this is such a beautiful day to walk on campus, wasn't it?
So exciting. Yes, it was beautiful out. We felt the wind in our hair definitely when we went to our stroll to class. So very nice outside.
Yeah, so I was taking a walk out this morning, you know, I was thinking to myself, it's really refreshing, you know, just being this terrific weather. You know, dew points are finally coming down, so that's good news.
We're done walking in the clouds on our way to class and finally getting a little bit more like fall-like conditions. But do you know what else happened on September 26th?
Well, Nikki, on today's date, on September 26th, Hurricane Jeanne made landfall back in 2004. Hard to believe, we're 9 years since the 2004 hurricane season.
Oh, yes. I remember that season like it was yesterday, honestly. This was back when I was in middle school, but definitely made the impact to Florida especially.
And it made landfall as a Category 3 hurricane in the exact same spot that Hurricane Francis did 3 weeks prior to landfall.
That's right, and tons of damage was happening on this day, especially across Florida and also in billions of dollars worth of damage.
Yes, and it also made its first landfall in Haiti and just did complete devastation. You know, 3,000 people died in Haiti just from flooding alone, so really tragic right there.
Very nice, but we're going to go ahead and send things back out to Pete with the overview.
Well, all smiles out here. Definitely a 5-star weekend forecast in store for us in Tallahassee. We earned it this summer, didn't we? Get those 90s out of here. You see currently around our region, you see 81 right now in Tallahassee and a big pocket of 70s beginning to sink southward. I know, folks, it was a little cloudy this morning, kept our temperatures down. But the good thing is that's going to be fading its way away for the weekend. Going to be beautiful, folks. So I hope you can get out there and enjoy it. You see on the visible satellite picture, the clouds filtering in from the north just began to recede, disappear as that sun began to peek its way through. So definitely kept the sunshine involved to keep us around 81, 82, about 83 for our high today. So definitely a big change from what we had. We'll move right ahead to our tonight's forecast. If you're out and about, 62 overnight, cooler and drier, fall-like. Well, it's fall altogether. You are here in autumn, beautiful conditions ahead. But for right now, let's send it back to the desk.
Alrighty, thank you, Pete. Once again, isn't those temperatures just really nice, Nikki?
Very nice outside, but although we're feeling the fall-like conditions here, other places are feeling more like winter.
Yes, in the northwest right now, we will have a forecast of a powerful winter storm that will move into the area late this week and into Monday.
Yes, that's right, into Monday, so we're still a good couple days away, but definitely something you want to get prepared for. It will be pretty strong and actually can cause travel delays as well across I-5.
Yes, so you'll make sure that you heed your local weather authorities for that. But in the meantime, you know, the main effects from the storms will be in the form of strong winds and heavy rain, of course.
Right, and with heavy rain actually comes flooding as well, so really just something to be prepared about if you are driving around across the area or even just outside. The rain can definitely be a problem.
Yes, and also in the meantime, you know, just really, in the higher elevations could see some snow from that, but we'll have more on that later on in the segment. But in the meantime, we're going to throw out to the local with Chris. And Chris, you know what? We're finally just seeing, you know, just beautiful fall-like weather. Tell us more about that.
That's right, Troy, and we saw our first, I would say, official fall day here in the capital city. We only saw a high today at 82, and that's because we had all those clouds around, and for most of your day, it barely made it out of the 70s. Our low this morning was 73, and we stayed about that temperature until about 1 o'clock when the sun finally peeked its way through the clouds and warmed us up a little bit. But these temperatures are going to stick around, so enjoy it. We won't see as much clouds and a lot more sunshine into your weekend, your Friday, your Saturday, your Sunday. Get out there and enjoy it. Currently, we sit at 81 degrees. Mostly cloudy skies in the area. No rain to talk about. Actually, we just dropped 2 more degrees. 79 now, dipping back down. And we're going to be on that similar trend through your evening into the 60s tonight. So it's going to be beautiful. Walk to class in the morning on your Friday. Good way to start the weekend. Don't forget that coffee. It's going to be perfect, at least in my opinion. 79 here in Tallahassee currently. 75 in Quincy. 79 in Bainbridge and Mariana. A little bit warmer along the coast where we had a little bit more sunshine today, and of course they have that water to keep them just a tad bit warmer overnight. And then the breeze, basically what I want you to catch out of this graphic is the northerly winds. That's that front that pushed through, and that's what's going to allot for these cooler temperatures tonight and into your weekend. It's just going to be ushering in that from the Canadian air, and that's going to keep us a little bit cooler, definitely below average and a bit more like fall. Now here's those clouds that basically stuck around all day today. They just kind of didn't want to dissipate. It's clear above the mid and upper levels, that's where we saw the clear skies. But on the lower levels, we did have these clouds around, but that will dissipate overnight and going to be a beautiful day on your Friday and across most of the southeast and the Big Bend area. Now, this is the story we got going on. We got a low pressure system off to our east, moving off into the Atlantic, and that's going to be strengthening and moving up towards the Canadian Maritimes, give them a lot of rain. Could be a big coastal low, so we'll keep our eyes on that, but not going to affect us because it has already pushed through the area and is going to be moving off to the north and east. Then tonight, though, we'll see temperatures about 62 degrees, a little bit cooler in the surrounding areas, definitely cooler and drier, definitely fall-like evening ahead, and again, northerly winds. Clear skies, though, as those clouds dissipate. Tomorrow, though, 84 degrees, clear skies, definitely abundant sunshine. Get outdoors, maybe take a hike, go walking, enjoy that cup of coffee, maybe do a little study break outside. It's going to be picture-perfect conditions, beautiful weather, great day to enjoy those nice fall-like temperatures. And as far as our 7 days concerned, actually beach forecast, if you want to go to the beach, it's still going to be beautiful. Clear skies, maybe a little bit chilly, going to be a little northerly wind, not as warm as we have been, but winds out of the northeast. Water temperature still quite warm, 82 degrees. UV index will be high, though, so don't forget that sunscreen if you do happen to make it out to the waters. Now, we are heading into our fall season, so the allergies and pollens are going to be up on the increase, especially with these cooler temperatures. 9.7 on Saturday is quite high, so if you do have any allergies, go to your doctor, get them checked out, and be prepared. But as far as your 7-day forecast is concerned, beautiful weather into this weekend, cool nights. But Ryan, is this a similar trend that's going to be throughout the southeast?
Yeah, I'm excited because this forecast is not only fantastic, but across the entire southeast, this is going to be, we're going to all be feeling very comfortable across the southeast. High temperatures today, already beginning to feel that trend. 76 degrees in Atlanta. Everybody up there, they've got the pumpkin spice candles burning, and I can assure you those whiffs will be spreading through the southeast northerly winds. 82 degrees today in Tallahassee, a nice change there as well. And you can see the general flow across the southeast is showing temperatures mainly in the 70s and 80s, and it's here to stay for the weekend. 24-hour temperature change, well, here you can see in the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia, we've got these blue colors. This is temperatures that are colder now than they were 24 hours ago. So you can definitely pick out where we've got the temperatures changing, cooling down. Autumn is in the air, and it's very exciting, isn't it, for most people? Currently 76 degrees still in Atlanta, 79 at this hour in Tallahassee versus a week ago. Tallahassee at this time of day, you were feeling heat indices well into the 90s, so change is definitely in the air. 83 degrees currently in Montgomery with sunny skies all around. Radar looking at a quick clean sweep right now across the southeast. Dealing with the clouds earlier this morning across Georgia, South Carolina, extending into the central Florida panhandle. But for the most part, the clouds have cleared out. Dry air is working its way in, and it's going to stay. No more clouds for the next couple days. Here's just another showing. We've got dry air, all this orange color dominating the entire south. Orange just like a pumpkin, just like those changing leaves. Well, it makes you feel like fall. It's dry air. Futurecast, here we go. No rain to show you on the Futurecast. We've got this front slipping off the coast, high pressure bringing in cooler air from the northeast. This low off the east coast is going to slip on up towards the northeast, and between that we're going to get a nice flow out of the southeast. So pretty breezy at times between the two systems, but nonetheless drier air working its way in. We've got drier, pleasant fall-like temperatures for you in store Saturday 8 a.m. It's going to be feeling really nice. Now tonight's forecast. 62 degrees in Tallahassee, 59 in Atlanta. Several of our South Georgia regions could be dealing with temps in the 50s. Tomorrow's forecast is going to feel absolutely beautiful. 80s for the entire southeast, but low humidities, so it's going to feel fantastic. Now to Nikki and Troy at the desk.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And speaking of that low pressure system, off in the Atlantic on the east side of Florida, it's actually going to be quite weak.
Yes, and earlier in the week, it looked like that the Northeast might see some effects from the system, but fortunately, most of the models are indicating that it's going to stay more offshore.
Exactly. It was expected to be quite strong, but it has calmed quite a bit down, and it will be making landfall definitely over in the Bermuda, Nova Scotia, and also in Newfoundland. So definitely not impacting most of the United States, but will be making a little bit of an impact off to the Atlantic coast.
And of course, they could see the folks that's going to be hitting across the Canadian Maritimes could see in the form of strong winds and heavy rain, and even the possibility of rough seas. So just make sure, though, if you're have any travel plans going to the Canadian Maritimes, just want to, watch, local weather authorities just for any, inclement weather that's looking more likely going to be happening around that region.
Exactly. So definitely something to be aware of. But we're going to go ahead and send things back out to the wall with actually our friend Troy right here. He's going to go ahead and take a look around the nation.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. And we're going to look at your current national map temperatures, and it's looking very comfortable across the East Coast. Temperatures in the 70s around the southeast Atlantic coast. And even look at that as I step off towards the other side of the screen. 72 degrees in Detroit. Look at that. 58 degrees in Boston. Good place to be, but we're going to take a look at your water vapor imaging. You can see most of the eastern United States is very, very dry right now, especially the southern part. Look at all this orange colors right here. That indicates that we have lots and lots of dry air in the upper levels in the atmosphere, and that is, causing some very beautiful weather across much of the southeast. Look ahead at your national satellite radar. Once again, not a lot of action across the eastern sections of the United States. We want to focus our attention in the northwest, and they're seeing effects of the low pressure system right now, that's currently spiraling and spinning around Montana, and we're going to zoom in a little closer just to give you exact what's going to be going on right now. You can see, lots of rain, and even look at those blue colors. That means snow, and we have lots and lots of snow in the higher elevations. We even have some storm total reports, above 7,000 feet, 2 feet of snow around the region, and 18 inches in Butte, Montana. So, lots and lots of snow in that region. Trekking along towards the northeast, look at that. Not a lot of action, beautiful skies under the influence of high pressure. So travels along the I-95 corridor are looking safe and sound. And, we're going to spread out towards the southeast. More of the same gorgeous weather right there. A little bit of showers popping off the Atlantic East Coast, but that is moving on towards the east. And so good weather will be in store for your weekend, especially in the Tallahassee region. And airport travels, are looking mighty fine across the United States. No delays, so to speak of. So if you plan on going to get away for the weekend, I highly encourage you to do that. But in the meantime, tonight's forecast, more cool temperatures concerned, 67 degrees in Memphis and 52 degrees in Detroit. Tomorrow's forecast, more beautiful temperatures, 87 degrees in Memphis, and there's the coolness that will be effects of the low pressure system across the northwest, 56 degrees in Billings, Montana. But we're going to toss out to local Pete. And Pete, fall weather, that is something that I've been looking forward to a long time. Tell us more about that.
What about you? What about me? I'll tell you what, I was in the sweltering 90s through most of my summer here at FSU, but thankfully so, temperature over the last 24 hours, well, came right down. 90 degrees yesterday at 4 p.m. and that underneath the cloud layer, those stratus clouds, those really low clouds, thick clouds kept us cooler today. We only made it up back into the 80s. So temperature over the last 24 hours brings it back down to more fall-like conditions. Officially 82 at the airport, a little below our average of 86, but nowhere near record temperatures of 99 degrees. Really, that 9-degree temperature swing, 73 to 82, is all due to those clouds. Keeps us warmer at night and cooler during the day. Right now at the airport, 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. The sun began to peek back through, so maybe has a pretty good sunset to behold this evening. Dew points are a little bit on the high side, 64, but don't be surprised to see that number drop. And that's where it becomes really pleasant when that dew point begins to lower. Regionally, 79 in Tallahassee, 75 in Quincy, 79 up in Bainbridge, and over to our east, more 70s with 76 and 77. So there's really not a bad place on the map tonight. Definitely something to be aware of. 64-degree dew point, you see greens all over here. That moisture has yet to funnel out of our region. That's all due to the low pressure center that's winding up over the coast of South Carolina. The backside of this is bringing in northerly flow, which kept those clouds over our area, but no rain, which was a good thing, more than any widespread rainfall across the capital region today. This low pressure center, I'll get out of the way and show you, it's winding up right over here, southeast of South Carolina. So it's going to give us a cooler night overnight tonight. Going to be 62 degrees overnight. That's going to move off the coast a little bit, and the high pressure begins to build back down. So drier and pleasant conditions for us tomorrow. I wish it was a 3-day weekend because it's that good, folks. Beautiful Friday in store for you. Low pressure winds its way up off the coast and we get out of our hair, but a fall-like pattern begins to set in for the weekend, including Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is really the next chance there's any appreciable rainfall. So hopefully you can get out there and enjoy it. 62 overnight tonight, cooler and drier, as I said. A fall-like evening is in store. for tomorrow. 84 degrees with abundant sunshine. If you get a chance to go outdoors, please do it. It's one of those beautiful fall-like days in Tallahassee. For the boating forecast, maybe you're lucky enough to get out there on the Gulf. Northeast winds kick up waves to about 2 feet, a little bit on the choppy side, but sun will be abundant throughout your boating activities. We'll skip right ahead to your 7-day to show you that extended forecast. Not a lot of rain, folks. You see that sun bright for Friday, Saturday into Sunday. 20% chance to rain Monday into Tuesday as our temperatures begin to creep up into the middle 80s, but you see those overnight lows comfortable in the 60s. Let's take another look here and send it back to the desk with Ryan and Chris.
Thanks, Pete. And, we've seen our taste of cooler weather, but, the Rockies are seeing their taste of cooler weather, too, with snow. And with all that snow, Colorado floods that they saw the past few weeks could spell disaster for winter tourism.
Yeah, the snow is hints of what's to come for the upcoming winter season. Colorado, a big-time winter recreational region for skiing and such. But with all the recent floods, several roads and bridges knocked out in Boulder and Larimer counties in Colorado. Those are big connectors from the Denver metro area into the mountain areas where the ski slopes are. So, but a lot of problems. Locals are really worried that it could take a hit economically this
Exactly,
season.
and it's a race against time. We're trying to get everything at least functioning as far as roads and main arteries by December 1st, which is their peak, early snow peak, where they receive the most snow early in the season.
That's right. Locals are afraid that if they can't get the roads fixed in time by December, that people won't go into the mountains and go skiing, and it could have lasting effects through the rest of the season. So working hard. The goal is December 1st to the Department of Transportation to get things up and going.
And mentioning all the delays and everything, 35 plus bridges and roads need to be repaired, so that's quite a number. Hopefully they'll get it all repaired.
That's right. And around Florida, we'll take you closer to home with Nikki.
Current conditions right now, well, we're not the only ones feeling like fall, and apparently so is our map. You see these fall-like colors? They aren't here to stay around, but they will be here for the weekend, so we have to make sure we go out and outside and enjoy it. 80s right now across most of the Sunshine State. Definitely seeing some more sunshine finally in our futurecast. Definitely into the weekend as well. So it's going to be a great day to get outside, especially if you have any plans for this weekend. Now, dew points. These will be lowering down as well. We'll be seeing a little bit more of drier conditions, which is always just splendid for great outside activities. 64 in Tallahassee, 69 in Tampa, 73 down here in Fort Myers, and as I move out of the way, 75 down here in Miami as well. So drying things out just a tad bit for the weekend. Be looking really nice, especially as we do go on into Friday. Satellite and radar, we are clearing things out. The rain is hitting the road for now, and we'll be seeing some nice conditions outside, especially for this upcoming couple of days. Here's a look around the central part of Florida. A couple last remaining showers from that front that passed through. It's out of the way now. Not expecting much rain for them over the next remainder of the week. Down towards the south of Florida, though, by Miami, we are seeing a couple more pop-up showers once again from that frontal system, but as it moves out of the way, we'll be clearing out and seeing just beautiful conditions outside. Local radar right now, too, you can see that northerly flow that's actually moving those showers as well off to the coast. So drying out there, too, just looking absolutely stupendous outside. Futurecast right now, though, like we said, this low pressure system will actually be hitting the road, leaving us alone, and bringing in some nicer conditions for us as this high pressure system does make its way on in to our region. Drier, pleasant conditions for sure, and definitely feeling like fall outside. Now, as that goes ahead and pushes off a little bit to the east, the fall will continue to persist, and it'll feel a tad bit cooler. We're looking at possible lows into the upper 60s, lower 50s, things like that. So it's going to be very nice outside, especially for tonight. Let's take a look. 62 degrees in Tallahassee, 72 in Tampa, 72 also in Orlando. So we're really just seeing some nice conditions outside. Tomorrow's forecast, we're getting a little bit tad warmer, but we're also not getting as hot as we were last week. 84 in Tallahassee, 89 in Tampa as well. So it's looking great outside. It's going to be perfect, but we're going to go ahead and look a little bit more around the tropics with Ryan.
Thanks, Nikki. In the tropics, not very active this year. In fact, we've been in the Atlantic basin almost 70% below average for activity, a far cry from what many predictions doomed for the 2013 season. Here's a look at the names as we've got right now. Only 2 hurricanes on the list, only achieving Category 1 strength. If we have one more storm in the Atlantic, next up on the list is Jerry. only reaching the J by October. Very odd. In any case, here's your climatology across the Atlantic Basin in October. Actually, this is September. As we go into October, things begin to die down a little bit. September, historically, the peak, climatologically speaking, of hurricane season. And all of this is October, we see storms develop and still possibly affecting the United States. So we don't want to keep our guard down just because it's been quiet over the past couple weeks. In any case, off the Atlantic coast, we've got 2 areas to watch, low pressure areas off the Carolinas and farther off the coast around Bermuda. This one's going to zip off into the Atlantic. We'll keep our eyes on this system. This patch of clouds is we've got a low pressure system that's going to work its way up the coast. Could bring some heavy surf and onshore flow onto the mid-Atlantic states up the east coast and affecting the Canadian Maritimes with some windy, breezy, squally weather, to say none the least. Out farther in the Atlantic, we've got a batch of showers and thunderstorms. The National Hurricane Center keeping its eye on this right now, only a 20% chance for development. The environment not very favorable. We've got a lot of shear in the environment, and that is just going to work its way up to the north if anything does develop over the next couple days. In the Caribbean, a little bit closer to home, we've got a nice blob of activity in the southern Caribbean, south of Jamaica and Cuba. This area we want to keep our eyes on, climatologically speaking, this time of year. If we see things develop, this tends to work its way north and get picked up by systems over the United States. So we'll want to keep our eyes on any activity that might develop in the Caribbean over the next couple of days. Closer to home, the Gulf of Mexico looking crystal clear. Nothing to worry about, too much dry air for thunderstorms to develop for the foreseeable future. Closer to home, we'll take a look at the forecast in the tri-state. 62 degrees tonight, feeling like fall finally in the tri-state area. 61 degrees in Albany, 55 in Macon. We could see 50s working its way into the southern part of Georgia, so definitely some nice cooler temperatures. Very refreshing from past times. Tomorrow's forecast in the 80s, low to mid 80s across the entire tri-state area. 84 degrees in Tallahassee, as well as in Panama City. 86 in Pensacola along the Gulf Coast. A great weekend to hit the Emerald Coast beaches. Water's looking pretty nice right now. 83 for your forecast in Macon, 84 in Gainesville, and your boating forecast if you're going to head out. Well, the weather's going to be extremely nice, but those northeast winds at 10 to 15 knots could be pretty choppy on the waters. Waves at 2 feet. So definitely not a skiing kind of weather day, but not too bad if you get out early in the morning before the winds really kick up. Could be a nice morning to go fishing or something of that nature. So looking pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to do something new now. We want you to go on Facebook right now at facebook.com/FSU Weather, and we're going to pose a question for you and take a poll and see what you all think here in the capital city.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The question is, we're so excited because we want to hear from you at home, the viewers. I just talked about the tropics, so we want to know from you at home, do you think we will see another hurricane in the Atlantic Basin this year? The tropics have been very inactive. And,
quite questionable. I mean, as far as we all know, we've seen one hurricane. It was a minimal hurricane at that and didn't impact any land at all.
That's right. So log on to facebook.com/FSU Weather. We've got the question coming up very soon. So if you don't see it right now, it'll be there in a couple minutes. So log on now. Tell us what you think. It's been a very inactive season so far, but October historically is an active month. So we'll see.
For sure, especially for Florida with those cold fronts that could bring it in from the Gulf and along the West Coast.
That's right. For now, though, things looking good. Tracy, what's our local forecast looking like?
Well, thanks, Ryan. Currently, or today, earlier this afternoon, we did reach a high of 82 degrees, and earlier this morning, our low was at 73. So just a little bit below average on our high and just slightly above average on our low there. Right now, our current conditions, temperatures have dropped. We are seeing temperatures at the 79-degree mark. Humidity is at 60%, as well as our dew point at 64. Now, current temperatures, as I said, we're sitting at 79 in Tallahassee, and we're currently seeing across the Big Bend area, temperatures are dropping down into the lower, upper 70s. And then just along the coast down here at Apalachicola, we have 84, and as it slowly decreases as you move more to the eastern areas. Now for our current dew point, we have Tallahassee sitting at 64 and Quincy at 66. And it's just kind of staying consistent within the areas as we've had all that humidity in our local area. Our visible satellite is going to show you that we've had all those clouds. And earlier this morning, you're going to notice we had cooler temperatures, which is why we were at that 73 low mark. And then as the day progressed into the afternoon, we did see temperatures start to warm up, and that's because all of those clouds started to go away and dissipate.
so you were able to enjoy that sunshine by 1, 2 o'clock. For our local radar, now you're going to see this is just showing you that we have lower levels in the clouds, and you don't typically see the clouds on the radar. So this is just how low that they are, and you can just see that they're kind of pushing out in that general direction more towards our west due to all that wind that we've been having. And then for our water vapor, as you can see, all this dry air is going to start pushing into our area, and that's just like over the course of Wednesday into Thursday, and it's going to be going into our 6 o'clock as we're currently sitting in that right now. And orange is very indicative of our dry air, so you're not going to notice any of these white clouds that you kind of see like pushing out of our area as it kind of cycles back around. There it is, just pushing out of our area, and we're going to see more dry area temperatures or weather out there. Now for our futurecast, we have this low system just sitting off to our east out in the, along the water, and as you're going to notice, it's going to start pushing out more, and it's eventually going to circulate up into the northeast and bringing them a lot more rain shower. But we're going to be seeing more pleasant and drier temperatures as we have this high pressure, and that's what the high pressure always brings into our area. A lot cooler or just more pleasant temperatures for our area, and it's going to be bringing a more fall-like pattern. For tonight's forecast, temperatures are going to currently drop, and then we're going to be seeing more pleasant temperatures. In tomorrow's forecast, it is going to be more in the 84 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit more pleasant. And then for our 7-day forecast, we are going to be seeing that nice, enjoyable sunny day weather for the entire weekend. We're not going to be seeing temperatures, well, our rain, should I say, until maybe Monday or Tuesday, where, you know, you can go outside, enjoy the temperatures, and then we even have that game this weekend.
Yeah, if
on
you
Saturday.
Seminole fans, maybe keeping track, maybe you're going to fly up to Boston for the Boston College FSU football game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be, I would love to do that. And you know, we aren't the only ones experiencing this fall-like weather. They are too. It's going to be picture perfect up in Boston this weekend. You want to give us a forecast?
Oh, well then, for out in, if you're out in that local area, it is going to be so beautiful. I believe the high they have is for 71 degrees.
71, yeah, and at 3:30 kickoff, so it'll be about 71 degrees that time.
Oh, completely pleasant. I mean, if you're in that area, you might want to bring a little jacket just in case that temperature is a little cooler
By
for
the
you.
end of the game, it'll be should be in upper 50s. So
yeah,
we'll keep
so
that
definitely
clear
bring
skies
that
and
jacket
even
with
some
you.
slight changes in the leaves. But back to our
Back
neck
to our
of the
forecast,
woods.
just to give you a little bit more of what we've got going on. Friday and Saturday and Sunday, go outside, enjoy the day. It's going to be beautiful. Don't stay cooped up.
No, don't stay cooped up. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook at FSU Weather, at facebook.com/FSU Weather. Like us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather, and catch us anytime at livestream.com/FSU Weather.